This is not a small place. Sodom and Gomorrah was part of a 5 city or 5 town bit of a construction there. Quite a metropolis. Lots of goings on there. They had a city structure. Lot is sitting in the gate of the city in the beginning of Genesis 19. That means he had gotten to a position of authority in the city. But here's the thing, though. What this city was doing, God had said enough's enough. Everybody, the common thing about Sodom and Gomorrah was that there was Sodom. There is, for lack of a better word, there is rampant homosexuality there. There is much sexual immorality going on there. Jude 1:7 says that they wandered after strange flesh. That means unnatural desires. It means a lot of perversion, gross perversion. It doesn't say that it wasn't there, but strange flesh, that can also mean something that's not human. There could have even been what's called bestiality there. This was a place where their prosperity had gotten them to the point where they did not have to go by righteousness. They didn't have to, that they cared nothing about God. Nothing in the text says that they were concerned about what the Lord wanted, what the Lord expected of humanity at this point. They could care less. We're going to read some of Genesis 19 here. Now the 2 angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When Lot saw them, he got up to meet them, bowed face down, and said, My lords, please turn aside into the house of your servant. Wash your feet and spend the night. Then you can rise early and go on your way. No, they answered, we will spend the night in the square. But Lot insisted so strongly that they followed him into his house. He prepared a feast for them and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. So, hospitality. In these stories, there's a similar line of hospitality between him and Abraham. The thing is the hospitality story, even with Abraham, is much different. They're sitting outside of Abraham's tent. They're having a wonderful meal. It's comfortable. It's out in nature. Abraham is very rich. He doesn't want for nothing, but it's out in the country. It's remote. He's got everything he needs there with him. They're more mobile. They're more agile. Whatever Abraham has, he's got. It's no doubt a big encampment. If he had 300, servants, it's a pretty good size encampment. But he can move. They're mobile. He's got everything he needs. He's out in the country. He's got it made. And it's comfortable. Everything's righteous there. Abraham's place is a holy place. Lot's not so much. He's in a place where there's just rampant sin, rampant corruption. They don't care about right and wrong. What they do here, well, let's just go ahead and read. Before they had gone to bed, all the men of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called out to Lot, saying, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Send them out to us so we can have relations with them. These men were angels. Remember, these are the same men that had been with Abraham and the Lord literally standing there. These are angels. So the men of the city, young men and old men, have seen them. Word's gotten around. And they want to come and, yes, If you're an adult, you know what I'm saying. They want to have relations with these two men. Lot goes outside to meet him and shuts the door behind him. "Please, my brothers," he pleaded, "don't do such a wicked thing." This was also a form of disrespect. This isn't not just them wanting to be with men, not just them being men wanting to be with other men. This is a sign of just being extremely disrespectful. So natural hospitality had lost there. There's just no moral structure. It's complete selfishness, complete narcissism, no respect, imposing what you think on others, and and no doubt it was going to be a very, very wicked thing that was going to happen. Could have been some ritualism going on here, some dark things, occult things going on here. Listen to what Lot says. This is just mind-boggling to me. "Please, my brothers," my brothers. Because remember, he's worked himself into a civic authoritative structure here, and he's an important man in the city. So notice, in a sinful place, Lot, who Peter in the New Testament says is righteous, Lot actually calls them his brothers. He's gotten comfortable here. They recognize him as somebody. Think about this. You see the parallel? Now listen to what Lot says. "Look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them to you, and you can do to them as you please." Wow. "But do not do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of the way," they replied. And they declared, "This one came here as a foreigner," talking about Lot, "and he is already acting like a judge. Now we will treat you worse than them." And they pressed in on Lot and moved in to break down the door. The men reached out, pulled Lot inside the house with them, and shut the door. They struck the men at the entrance, young and old, with blindness. And they were going around basically just trying to find the door to get in. So the two men's like, "Okay, seen all we need to see. Yeah, we are angels of the Most High God, and that this place is going down, literally going down in flames." The two men says to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, son-in-law, your daughters, sons, anyone else in the city that belongs to you? You need to get them out of here, because we are about to destroy this place. For the outcry to the Lord against this people is so great, he has sent us to destroy it." All along, God was going to destroy it. Basically, though, Abraham had been praying. He tried to intercede for the city. He knew what the Lord meant. And no doubt Abraham knew, everybody knew about Sodom, how bad it was there. And, Abraham's like, "Hey, look, Lot and his family's down there. Like, you can't destroy this, this place, and Lot there. Like, if there's this many," he's thinking that Lot has a following. Another interesting thing here. Lot has lived in this sinful city. He's gotten so comfortable there. Guess what? They had no respect for him or his religion. They had no respect for his faith in God. They could care less. Because Abraham he names off these numbers: 50 righteous people, 20 righteous people, 40 righteous people. He's thinking, well, surely Lot's been down there for a while, and, there's people that's, maybe he's rubbed off on somebody. I mean, come on, Lord, surely you're not going to wipe this whole place out. Oh, this even gets even more interesting here. So Lot went out and spoke to the sons-in-law who were pledged in marriage to his daughters, the daughters that he literally just offered to these disgusting humans. He says, "Get up," he says to them. "Get out of this place, for the Lord is about to destroy the city." But the sons-in-law thought he was joking. They didn't even take him serious. They weren't believers either. They were not following the way of the Lord that Abraham was practicing.